Hi, everyone. Welcome. It's always a real joy and blessing to record one of these. We have our newest author, Dana Alexander, with us, and she is about to launch her very first book. Dana, welcome.
Hi, how are you today, Tracey?
I'm tremendous. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Dana. We met, I don't know, Dana, probably about 4 months ago or so
Oh,
through a mutual friend. And I went out to see Dana's, she has a business called Envision Total Wellness. And I went out to her facility and she does a lot of physical work, mind work, body work, into all the fabulous total wellness and holistic healing. So, I was all about that. So, as we were out there talking, she shared with me that she has been working for the last few years on this tremendous children's book. And immediately my ears perked up, especially when she told me what it was about. So, next week, the middle of July, we are ready to actually launch this book. So, I wanted to introduce our tremendous group to Dana and let her tell you a little bit about the book. So, Dana, again, thank you as a big proponent from being a child on about the power of thought and how we can regulate not only our emotions, but our thoughts. I'm very excited and honored to publish this under our imprint. Can you tell us a little bit about what led you to write the book and what the overarching message is? And the title is called Stop Talking Hat, The Morning Mess.
yeah. Actually, this came from coaching a young girl that she was about 5. And we were coaching her thoughts and her anxiety. And she was already dealing with many of the things that we deal with as adults. And here I am coaching this child who is a client. And I'm sitting in my office thinking, wow, this is starting very young, very young. And one of the things that we did to separate her from her thoughts was this idea of it's a hat. It's not you, it's your thoughts. And there is some control that you can have based on some of these different things that we were working on. And it worked so well with her that I thought, wow, if we could get this into the hands of parents, if we could get this into the hands of educators, how many kids at 15, 16, 17 wouldn't be in crisis sitting in my office, cutting, suicidal, all of these things that are possibly preventable with knowing that there is power and control that we have available to us in coaching, in books, in podcasts, all of these things. But I just really felt called to start young with this one particular. And so I thought, I'm going to write a book. And this was pre-2020. Then COVID hits. And, I'm like, okay, we got to get pen to this and all this, that, and the other thing. And finally, it's here. And I got to be honest, I almost gave up on this book because it's just been so long and something. But then I thought, you know what? The inspiration from where this came from and the value I think that it has to be able to get this into the hands of people, because I can't coach everyone. Tracey, you can't coach everyone. But when they have a tool like this and they have resources to be able to give their children power, I think there's nothing better as a parent than to be able to give them what they need in their situations.
Oh, Dana, that is so beautiful. And you talked about a 5-year-old. I hear from so many of my dear friends that say their child, not as young as 5, but I can totally believe it, is dealing with anxiety and depression. My sister Candy, who's older than me, she even read it. I said, Candy, look at this book. You're just gonna, because she has grands and we all know kids that can use it. She's like, Tracy, that should be for adults too. So
Yes.
can you tell without giving it away, because I know all our listeners are going to want to grab a copy on launch day. Tell us a little bit about the storyline and what
Well,
Stop Talking Hat is.
yeah, so it's about a young boy who's just having a rough morning and he just can't understand what's going on. Everything keeps going wrong, going wrong, going wrong. And it's funny you say that about adults, because I was talking to a gentleman in my office yesterday about the book, and he says, I didn't know you wrote a book. He said, this book's for me. And I just started laughing because he's in his almost 60. But it's about how when things start going that way, and sometimes life does that.
Mhm.
Um, Cam has a way of um, kind of being overcome with that negativity that's happening, and his situations are causing his thoughts to be very negative. And he has friends on his school bus that notice that when he thinks a certain way and acts a certain way, his hat changes colors. And so the value of understanding and how to control that is really what the story's about.
Well, and I love that you talk about you disassociate. Okay, we're human creatures, and I don't care if we're 1 or 100. We're gonna have times where stinking thinking creeps in, but don't own that and don't let that become your identity. It's you capture that thought, and like he does when he learns that, and he pushes it out, and he tells the hat, "Stop talking, hat." And
Yeah.
we have such control, and I just love that. If you haven't learned that from adults in your life or school or whatever, this book is just such a wonderful resource. And you know me, I'm all about the power of positivity. And Charles would say that you can be happy miserable or miserable miserable. It's tough in life, but we do have a high degree of control, even at a young age. And how exciting for them to realize that and think this is normal. Number one, I don't have to own this. It's not my identity, and I can change it. And
That's
it's
right.
just a beautiful book.
And as soon as we change the power of one, we change one, and that changes the culture in every school, right? Or every household. It's just amazing. I think what that can do for everywhere and communities in entirety. So I'm super excited. I'm so honored to be able to bring this. And there's a second version of Stop Talking Hat sitting on my table now. So hopefully there'll be the next one. So
Well, that's good because Cam leaves us in a great
I
space, and
know.
now he has to go out there and keep
He's
that
gone.
hat from
That's right.
talking.
That's right. That's right.
Well, Dana, thank you so much. To our listeners out there, we'll have the links. You go out and purchase a copy. We'll also have the ebook downloadable, but make sure you grab copies. Just wonderful gifts. And what would you say age-wise, the book is really geared towards, Dana?
Like I said, I really think for that 5-year-old, but I have two granddaughters right now that obviously will be getting a signed copy from Nona. And they're little, but if you think
Yeah.
about the power of reading that over them right from the start, because social media and everything that's driving this pace and this anxiety and all the things, I don't even really know where it's all coming from. But I think, my one granddaughter is just about to be a year old, and I think, wow, if that could be read to her, she's going to know that when she hits that age where this stuff starts happening, because I'm not sure we all know when it exactly starts. And I think it's different for all of us. So I'm hoping that moms out there will grab a copy, dads out there will grab a copy and, read it over their kids. And maybe it's something that they will keep on their bookshelves for a very long time.
I know they will. Well, again, Dana, and to our listeners out there, you grab a copy. We'll have all the details out there. And Dana, thank you for keeping the faith. And to our listeners out there, you may have something out there, but
Yes,
it may go on for a long time. But at
yes,
the right place and the right time, if it's meant to happen, it will all come together. And Dana, I mean, this was out there for quite a
yeah,
few years, and then all of a sudden, it's like now's the time.
the time.
So just
And I
keep the
can
faith, everybody. Dana's living proof of that.
keep going, never give up.
All right, sister. And I will also put for our listeners out there links to Dana so you can get more information on her because she is just she is a living, breathing embodiment of mind, body, spirit, soul, all of it. And thank you, Dana. Thank you for the honor of publishing with us. And we hope your book impacts a countless number of lives.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody. Be sure and get a copy of Stop Talking Hat, The Morning Mess today.